Pen merchant,
Tap and merchant,
nostalgia merchant,
cross merchant,
speed merchant,
park the bus merchant,
stats merchant.
iBar merchant.
Welcome to Football Merchants. This is our first episode, and I think this is the best time to start it since the World Cup is approaching. No better time for me to start a podcast, of course, because finally Arsenal is doing well, and this is my year for the
I
podcast.
I could not have been happy that the World Cup is starting at this point because finally I do not have to hear you talking about Arsenal all day and all night. So the only thing that I'm happy about this World Cup in Qatar is that it's starting right now. So
That's true. That's true. Had we started this a month or two ago, there'll be only Arsenal that I'm talking about. But it's okay. Let's talk about Qatar. How do you feel about the squad selections that have been made?
Some surprising omissions in each and every team here and there. But overall, I mean, it's a World Cup. It's the most watched event on the fucking planet. So
Right.
I'm excited. I mean, there have been like a lot of controversies surrounding the whole Qatar thing.
Right. Yeah.
But
Of course.
uh, I mean, the World Cup excitement is still there. The
True.
squad, the teams are looking good. So it's super exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm always excited for the World Cup. It's just a bit of a pity that it's happening mid-season. The players have not had their 3 week off that they normally get, and small injuries that could have been overcome very easily are spoiling players' dreams for the World Cup. Sadio Mane, just this morning I found out that he is not in the World Cup squad anymore because of the injury that he sustained. And Kunku, I'm not sure about how bad his injury is, but he got injured in training and had to miss the World Cup. So Reece James, who actually from his comments on that Ivan Tony post where he's doing that after scoring
Yeah.
against City. I remember he put something like, "If I speak, I'll be in trouble." And
Yeah.
he liked that post which said that if Reece James is not going to the World Cup, there's no chance. So it seems like Reece James felt that he was fit, but Southgate decided against it because I do not understand what obsession he has with the captain of Manchester United, Harry Maguire.
I mean, look at it. Like Maguire is still the most senior or one of the most senior defenders out there. And let's just be honest, Maguire is not. He's barely or he's rarely put in a foot wrong for England. He has put all his feet wrong for United. I will not shy away from that. But for England, he's been massive, and he's like a leader figure in that squad, and I think that's what Southgate wants from him, that he needs like a leader from the squad.
True. I mean, sometimes it could be said that you'd be criticizing Maguire a bit too much, but then again, for United, he's time and again proven how many mistakes he has in him. I think for Harry Maguire, if you talk about the 2018 World Cup, I just feel that for that England was very overhyped. They had a very easy run. The time when they had a real test, which was Croatia, they failed. The third place game against Belgium, they failed. So I would say that, yeah, I mean, England themselves, they didn't have a very phenomenal World Cup. It's just that they looked much better than they actually were.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the Euros, yes, Harry Maguire was solid. That penalty in the final was absolutely phenomenal, breaking the camera. But then when you put it into perspective, that was that one year that he had very good for Manchester United, and that was his year of form. So I'm not sure. I don't know if you can take Maguire over Tomori is not the most fair thing to do. After Tomori has won Serie A and he's been a rock in the Milan defense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely he's a noticeable omission out there, but I mean, I understand why Maguire is in the squad. Even though like ever since his brawl in Greece and
Right.
him like beating people up, he's not been the same person. But I mean, this England squad does look good. I I mean, Reece James will be missed. Tomori could have been there instead of like some other central defender. I don't know, Tyron Mings, I guess. But um, it's it's looking good, but I just don't think it's coming home yet. It's not,
It's not.
not for me.
It's not. Yeah, I really think Southgate is running out of ideas. He is a bit too
Yeah,
stubborn as a manager, and I think he was a good manager for England till a point,
yeah,
because the most important for England, why we see England failing all the time, is because you have players from Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, United.
yeah,
When you see the Spanish teams or the German teams winning, it's like most of the players are from Barcelona or Madrid, or most of the players are from Bayern Munich and some from
mm,
Dortmund.
yeah,
So Southgate brought them together. Like now, we have Reece James and Saka commenting on each other's posts and hyping each other up and all that. So that togetherness is there, but tactically, I think he's completely lost.
yeah. So I think this is his last chance, but otherwise, I don't see why he should be there as the manager after this World Cup.
Right. I mean, but when you say on paper, it's also about on paper who's starting. If you
Hmm.
start the right people, that's also very important, right? Like, would you start
Yeah,
Mount or Madison?
Madison.
Yeah, but he would start Mount, and that's that's the fuck up here, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's where he's losing out. But anyway, England is a topic that we can have a full podcast series about because of the amount of chaos that they've always given us when you
yeah,
talk about. So let's go to other squad omissions, notable
yes.
ones. How do you feel about Richarlison over Firmino?
Surprising. Yes, I mean, if we are just looking at stats, then Firmino is clearly standing out. Yeah, he's done better than Richarlison. He's done better than Anthony for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, even though Anthony's a winger, for me he's a striker. I get all of that, but I I mean, Martinelli, for example, he's doing great
Right.
with Arsenal. I know he's your boy. Don't get me wrong, but Firmino brings like a lot of experience with him. When I
True.
look at that Brazil front three, the only person I see with experience is maybe like a Neymar or I mean even Vinicius Junior. He's won a lot of stuff, but World Cup experience I don't think that's there in him. So it's a big omission. It's a surprising one, but again, like I look at that Brazil squad and one of my favorites to reach the finals.
Yeah, but I guess I would agree with the whole part about Anthony and Richarlison, because when you think about Martinelli, yes, he is young for sure. It's his first World Cup, but would you put him or Gabriel Jesus? Because in terms of finishing, Martinelli has edged out Jesus to an extent, and he's also creating goals. Although Jesus has been brilliant, I watch every game, and yes, he can get much better at finishing, but he has a goal contribution in almost every goal that we're scoring. So, but then I guess I would rather take out something like a Richarlison because he's played at ST, and Firmino can do that much better. He's
Yeah,
not even like it's you're getting a very good finisher that okay he's a pure finisher that he'll be very good at that. Firmino is definitely above him, and he's a fucking Spurs player, bro.
yeah,
Spurs
and
mentality, get that out. I mean, Harry Kane is an anomaly, but get Spurs out, dude. Delete Spurs, just delete club. Go on career mode, go down to delete club, dude.
And I mean, that guy does not even start for Spurs every game. He's coming off the bench most of the times. Cup games, he's starting. So super surprising for me to see him in the Brazil squad. I don't know. The manager might be thinking something different, but we'll see
Don't
what
you?
happens.
Yeah, don't you think it's a very Neymar problem? Like a very like Neymar's friends, his entourage, people that he hangs out with, and all of that. Because I just feel that the amount of influence sometimes senior players and the most important players have on the team and the selections is like people say that about Argentina and Dybala because of Messi not liking playing with him and them missing out on an absolute gem.
Yeah,
So do you think that that's the case that could be with Brazil as well?
I think it could be, but somewhere, if I want to reason out with this whole thing, I feel that maybe Firmino has looked like more as a false nine, and Richarlison has looked like as more as a true striker, and that's what sets them apart. And maybe Brazil
Yeah.
don't need that false nine, and that's when Richarlison comes in. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like this whole friendship and dosti and
Right.
bhaichara for
Yeah,
Neymar makes
exactly.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, playing style wise, probably you already have Jesus, so now the other option is Richarlison because Jesus and Firmino are very similar in that sense. But
yeah,
for that, Richarlison needs to be scoring goals, which he's not doing. So,
correct.
I mean, yes, now I think we have a very important team to talk about, which is Spain and the
Hmm.
selections of Luis Enrique not picking De Gea and Ramos.
I understand why he does not want to pick, I think, De Gea. I mean, I understand that United have not been winning trophies, and he's not the modern goalkeeper that everyone wants him to be.
Right.
But if you just look at this season, I don't think I can point out one or two occasions or like more than one or two occasions where he's made a mistake. He's transformed himself, like be it his ball distribution or be it coming off the line or be it clearing those balls. He is doing it much better than last season. And like I think the goalkeeper selection that Luis Enrique has made is surprising for me.
Yeah.
I I don't know. Like I think out of De Gea should have been at least, if not the starting keeper for Spain, he should at least have been on bench for Spain. And coming to Ramos, I mean, you're he's a leader, and
Exactly.
he's fitter than ever. He's playing games for PSG in and out. He is like doing great for PSG. Him and Messi are on the same team. Like they're helping each other out. He's a fighter, and he has that winner mentality. Like the number of titles that he's won, and you want to take players such as Pau Torres or like maybe like a Laporte who's not even been like 100% fit throughout the season or who's not played as many games. I don't see experience. I see Jordi Alba, Danny Carvajal, or Aspilicueta, but like, where is that center back? Well, you need one center back who commands the whole fucking line, and
Yeah.
Spain have just missed out on that.
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona fans have been calling for Busquets' head, for Alba's head, that have been absolutely shambolic the past, I wouldn't even say just this season, but I've been hearing a lot of, abuse towards Alba and Busquets since a lot of time. Now, if you're keeping them for experience, why aren't you keeping Sergio Ramos? Sergio Ramos, in terms of leadership, in terms of impact, in terms of, I think everything is miles ahead of both of them. Actually, I
100%.
wouldn't say miles ahead. Sergio Busquets has had his impact in terms of the how technically he approaches the game, but in terms of that
Yeah.
whole leadership and like fighting for your team and stuff like that, the experience of being a Spanish captain himself, Sergio Ramos,
Yeah.
I think was a very important person to have in the team. He's assisting goals to Messi. So like I don't know what's happening right now, but I would
Yeah.
have really wanted to see Sergio Ramos one last dance here, and I think he would have made a difference. You're not talking
100%.
about a player that's starting on playing 90 minutes and that's breaking someone's legs and just getting a red card. He's still notorious for that, but that's Sergio Ramos for you. You start him off the
Yeah.
bench. You need that crucial 90th minute header, Sergio Ramos. You need
Yeah.
someone to pull a Chiellini in the World Cup in the like extra time, Sergio Ramos, and he'll do that by breaking a leg or something. So
Yeah.
you need to have Sergio Ramos.
Yeah. And which is what you need in the World Cup, right? You need a fighting spirit. You need someone who's gonna put their body in front of the ball for that badge. And the very few guys come to my head when you talk about those. Like there's Vidic, there's Pepe, and then there's Ramos. Like
Right.
talk about central backs in the modern era. Like those three are the guys who'll do like anything to win a fucking ball. And I just and I'm looking at Spain's squad right now. I'm seeing attackers, I'm seeing midfielders and defenders like Carvajal, Aspilicueta, and Busquets. I see three leaders, and I'm not pretty sure if all of them are going to start at the same time. If they are, then
Yeah.
great. But then even if two of them start, they're lacking leadership in that squad. It's a
Yeah.
pretty young squad, so I don't know, pretty surprising. Ramos not being there. De Gea, I can still understand why. Okay, fine, fair enough. I'm not pretty happy about it, but fair enough.
I'd still keep him on
And
the bench. He's not a fourth choice
yeah,
keeper.
yeah, and like there's been controversies, right? Like I just read today on Twitter that Spain's president, like Spain football like federation's president, just sent a message to De Gea, like saying that I'm happy that you've decided to retire yet. Like you've decided to retire now from international football, and that guy goes like, I have not decided, and I will not retire from like
Yeah,
international football until I feel I need to like retire, and I'm ready to play for Spain if I'm asked to. Like you see, there's like a gap in, I don't know what, but like there is a gap between Luis Enrique and the president of like the Federation of Football for Spain.
right,
So yeah, it's surprising. I don't see them as one of the favorites. I just
right.
don't.
Yes, but I'll tell you one thing. So it's pretty much. So Cruyff said this one thing that if you choose the best player for every position instead of having a strong starting 11, you'll have 11 strong ones. So that's his philosophy of choosing his team. But when you look at Luis Enrique, his philosophy is it goes in a way that the players have to fit his system the way he likes to play. It does not matter to him what form they're in, how they're playing, because you've omitted Iago Aspas and you're repping Morata, who was he was very low confidence in the past couple of seasons, the last tournament that they played. And but the thing is, for Luis Enrique, had he not lost that semi-final to Italy on penalties, Spain winning that game would not have been a robbery. It would have been fairly deserved. Spain played phenomenal, and I think they would
Yeah.
have smoked England because England is just shambolic. Okay, so they would have probably won that, and you say that his system is good because when you talk about Marco Asensio, he started just one game this season,
Yeah.
but for Luis Enrique, he has what around 7 assists. So, I mean, the system has been working. It's been proven in his qualifier games. It's been proven in his Euro campaign last year, which last year, right? Yeah, which I think was a tad bit unfair on him. But then again, yes, the squad emissions are shocking, and there is a bit of that Barcelona bias that I do see there.
Yeah. And there is an experience in that squad. Like I mean, Rodri, Gavi, and like
Right.
we have Pedri. Like great players, amazing talent. Like Rodri is experienced 100%, but like Pedri and Gavi, the new Iniesta and Xavi, like 100%. There is a lot of talent, but
Yeah,
tournaments like these do need experience as well, and we've seen
exactly.
it time and time again. Like even with the Italy squad last year, you had Cellini and like you had centre backs who had been playing since years, and they knew how to deal with pressure and how to like behave in certain moments or how to respond in certain moments or situations. I just don't think Spain's squad has that in them right now.
And what do you feel about the man, our
I know where this is going. I know where this is going.
how do you think he is going to perform? How do you think his World Cup is going to be? He's had an upset stomach, and lots of people say it's because of the chefs at Man United who didn't take his comments too well. So,
Let me start by saying this. I'm a United fan.
right,
I'm a United fan because I'm a Ronaldo fan.
true,
I've been a United fan even after Ronaldo left United.
yeah,
But what he has pulled right now
yeah,
is unforgivable as a fan. Like I have lost a lot of He used to be. He's still. He'll always be my favorite player. That is
yeah,
not going to change. But
yeah,
what he has done right now, he's just like made himself bigger than the club.
yeah,
Him outing the Glazers, him outing the hierarchy in Man United, I have no problem against that.
right,
But demeaning the young players, saying that you don't respect the head coach, is taking it a step too far.
yeah,
Regardless, um, him and the World Cup and the whole Portugal squad, one of my favorites. I want them to win the World Cup.
right,
Ronaldo is
same,
there 100%. Bruno again. But their squad looks good. I mean,
yeah,
on paper, pretty good. They have great defenders. Dalo is like, I don't know, behaving like some Ashley Cole right
Yeah.
now. I don't know, whatever. He's on the best form. Cancelo on the other end, the Ruben Dias and Pepe to like break legs. One very surprising omission for me is Diego Jota.
I think he's injured, no?
Is he?
I
I
think he's
mean, then it
injured.
makes sense. Then it
Yeah, I
makes
think he's
sense
injured.
because yeah, yeah. Otherwise, I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But great squad. I think it's probably going to be Ronaldo's last World Cup. He knows
Yep.
it. We know it. I hope he is at terms with the fact that it is going to be his last World Cup, because clearly he's not at terms with the fact that he's almost done playing. But one of my favorites, and I think he will have an impact.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things about Ronaldo and the pattern of his career is that he's always played the best after a shitty period. Right? It's always been
Yeah,
it's like that with Ronaldo, right? Like you'll see the best version of Ronaldo when like Ancelotti said, there's only one person more dangerous than Ronaldo is a Ronaldo that has not scored in the previous match. So that
yeah.
that kind of a thing is something that Ronaldo carries, and if the team plays in conundrum, if Diogo Dalot, Bruno, and Ronaldo can play together without any chaos, and for me personally, as a squad overall on paper, I think they're, if not stronger, as strong as Brazil. Because we're again forgetting about this one brilliant player who's had an amazing season last year and has done well this year as well, who is Rafael Leao, right? Rafael Leao and Ronaldo are going to be there in attack. I'm not sure if Bruno and Bernardo can play together because Bernardo needs to see lot more of the ball at his feet. He dribbles a lot, and to be honest, as much as I used to love Bruno, I'm not liking him so much anymore because he was my favorite player at one point in the league. But I think sometimes Bruno, without understanding, he tries to hog the ball a lot. He's not playing a game which is progressing slowly. Sometimes he's always going for a stat. It seems like he's going for an assist directly. He's going for a shot from a very far position. There is that whole build-up situation has become much lesser, and that worked at a time where Bruno was the only person that you rely on. So he's seeming to be that the best player in the team because obviously he's the one taking all the risks and going for all of those things. But now they do have Sancho, who's also a very creative player. They do have Anthony, who's also a very creative player. So Bruno cannot have that much of the ball anymore, which is why we say that Bruno is not doing as well as he used to. But the thing is that Bruno is just not shining in a team which is rather more mediocre with a more mediocre coach. It's just that the players around him are also looking better.
I mean, I will want to defer with that. I understand that Bruno's not seeing more of the ball, shifting to club football for like a quick minute. I feel that earlier Bruno had the responsibility to like bring the ball from the defense to the offense and change like the whole transition. But we have two brilliant players now who can do that single handedly, Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. That is why Bruno is more free in his attacking game now. And like I've seen him taking those, long shots and like sometimes it's annoying at that point, but then you realize that he's only doing that when nothing else is like ticking for him, like or for the team in the whole game. Like that is when he's taking those long shots to like create something out of it. But he's he's having an impact. I mean, the last couple of days, like last couple of games, like he's had assists. He's given Rashford like beautiful assists. But I agree. Like Bernardo and like Bruno Fernandes at the same time looks a bit difficult. And as if you've noticed, like Bruno usually does not start every game for Portugal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times that he comes from the bench. And again, when you have a team full of so many stars, and there someone has to like someone needs to come from the bench.
Mhm.
Not all 20 players can start on the pitch. So, but I think he will also have an impact. Overall, I think Portugal are super strong, and on paper with Brazil, like you mentioned, and France, I think Portugal is right there
Right,
in the
right.
discussion.
So, of course, as we spoke about the greatest player of all time, let's talk about the second greatest. uh, of course, Argentina and Leo Messi are charged up. 35 games unbeaten, 36, I believe. I don't know, one
Yeah.
game away from equaling Italy's record that went from 2019 to 2021. uh, De Paul has become like the Majnu Bhai to Messi's Uday. He's gonna kill anyone who tries to harm him. So, what do you feel about Argentina's chances?
Pretty good squad on paper. I mean, we cannot ignore the fact that they have had like a 35 or 36 game unbeaten run. Um, Midfield wise, I mean, okay, they're sort of midfield is the only place where it looks a bit, not as strong as other teams. But look at that front three options they have. Emiliano Martinez, top-notch goalkeeper, and like
Right.
Messi's brother from another mother, I guess. And how can I forget my one true centre back, the fighter, the butcher,
Oh
Lisandro
yes,
Martinez.
that's true. He has been a rock for United. I still do feel that Lisandro sometimes can make a little, like, some tackles he can make are a little too dangerous, and he could be, a straight red would not do very well for Argentina. And if he pulls
The,
off something like that, he's an almost perfect defender right now. But when I see United games, sometimes you're like, oh fuck, okay, he might just get a red right now. Like, he might just.
yeah,
This is just almost a little over the line. So I don't know if he gets very overwhelmed in that sense. But attack is
yeah,
obviously Leo Messi, Paulo Dybala, Angel Di Maria, Lautaro Martinez, Julian Alvarez is doing so good for City. So
yeah.
that's a great attack. Yeah, I don't really see someone very stand out in terms of midfielders. Paredes and De Paul are okay, fine, whatever. Oh, damn. Okay. And on a squad on paper, they're not even that much up there, huh? When you think about it, with your Brazil, England, Portugal also probably starting
Yeah.
11, France.
Yeah, but I mean, Qatar officials have been like coming to the whole political side of it, or like the other side of it. Qatar officials, or like the president, or like they've been pretty vocal about their love for Messi,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm seeing like a few decisions going in Argentina's favor, which
Hmm.
corruption and this World Cup are not like very poles apart.
True.
So I'm not gonna take. I mean, not gonna take anything away from Argentina, but
Of
like since we're on
course.
the subject, I'm not
True,
gonna
true.
be surprised if I'm seeing any soft calls or like soft penalties at for Argentina.
But I really think that this Messi's that chance to become like undisputedly the top at everything. If he wins the World Cup, he's completed football. There's
He
nothing.
has.
There's
That's
nothing
why I
more than
want
this.
Ronaldo to win it.
Yeah, of course, I want Ronaldo to win. Things have gotten a little too downhill for him. I really wish he does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
moving on to the German squad, I guess poor Royce. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, with Germany, all I think is that they're not that, like that strong force that they used to be,
Hmm.
right? I mean, again, great squad. They have some great options for every position, but I just don't think they have like a good. I mean, they don't have strikers. Royce could have been a great one, but who's there up there? Like
Kai
the
Havertz.
only guy. Yeah, I mean, that's the only guy I've heard of. Like this guy Mukoko is like 17 years old.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing in that squad. I'm fine. I'm great to see Mario Götze back in
Yeah.
the squad. And like he was the one who scored that winner against Argentina. So, but attacking wise, not a lot of options. Midfield, they have options. Defense, they have options. But I think this is the only team who has like three top-notch goalkeepers.
Yeah,
who are like starters for their teams.
yeah,
Like, I mean,
exactly.
there are other teams who have
Yeah,
starters, but
yeah,
then in this team, you put any one of them for like at a goalkeeper position, they'll do like a top-notch job. But
true,
apart
true.
from that, decent squad,
Yeah,
decent squad,
yeah,
not like a World Cup winning squad, my
definitely.
opinion.
Definitely. Germany could have done with an out and out goal scorer with them. They could have probably done with Hummels. I'm a bit shocked actually that Hummels is
Yeah.
not there because he's been playing decent. He has a lot of experience. He's a World Cup winner, and I don't know, strange. But I guess there's not much to speak about in terms of Germany. The reigning champions, France, are they going to be hit with that World Cup curse?
Everything logically and practically says that they should be retaining the title just because of the players that they have. I
Okay.
mean, they're they're gonna miss out on Kante and Pogba, which had been crucial for them, winning that World Cup last time. And Pogba, like this is karma for him, as much as it hurts me to say, but long time coming for that guy. But I think two crucial players who are running the midfield for France, both of them not there. They have obviously like they have different options for them. Like they have Kamavinga and Tuchemini is there. But again, they're not like a Pogba and Kante. Pogba for France is like okay, might be a stretch, but is similar to Zidane in football. Very big stretch, but he's at those levels. He's at great levels for France.
I guess this, if you're talking about the style of play and the way he would make the shifts in midfield, like change the direction through using his dribbling and put in that killer pass, yes, he does do well. But in terms of the work ethic he has, he's nowhere close to Zidane. When you look at that
Oh, sure.
Switzerland game, he scored a beautiful banger. But right after that, when Switzerland capitulated France in the last couple of minutes, they absolutely ran riot. Was because of the French team getting complacent, and most notably Pogba. Everyone
Yeah.
said after the game, "Oh no, but Pogba scored that goal. He ran the midfield. He played so well." Yes, he did, but the whole collapse, Pogba was at the heart of it, and
Yeah.
he just stops putting in that shift lots of times. And I guess blessing in disguise for France, maybe, I don't know. The biggest blessing they have is Benzema, although he does
Yeah.
turn into a Brazos DOP when it comes to the French team. I don't know what tapes he'll procure while he's on this World
Yeah.
Cup, but I just hope
Yeah.
for him. He has a good World Cup.
Yeah. Seeing Benzema and Giroud in the same squad is it's
Okay, yeah, dude, I
it's a
forgot
lot of
about that.
tension. It's a lot of tension. Go karting and F1 and all other sports, whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they have Benzema, they have Dembele, Giroud, Griezmann, Mbappe. Like that's like for a manager, I think that would be a difficult option, like set of options.
Yeah.
That is more difficult for a manager to like select. So overall, like again, if top four for the World Cup, France is definitely on that list for me.
For me, I think France is out. I think France is going to
Uh,
struggle because I think Mbappe is in over his head. He's been given a lot more than a player of his age should be given. Very
yeah,
understandable that it seems like it's getting to his head. He's a 23-year-old kid who's been called by the president and given money that he wouldn't have even imagined 3 to 4 years ago. Of course, he would have imagined
yeah,
big money, but this is ridiculous money. It's not. It's you when you exaggerate and you make stupid jokes, you talk about you still probably don't talk about these figures, so
yeah.
that's been a bit detrimental to him. Varane just coming back from injury, Jules Kounde not having the best start to his Barcelona life, William Saliba though, oof, my god, that player, man, he dribbles in his box and he gets out of it. He gets out of trouble. He will not clear. He will take the ball, he will touch left, right, thoda look for a pass, and then he'll go, which can get dangerous, but till now it's worked. I don't know how it's worked. But yeah, I just feel too many new players, too many important, experienced World Cup winners have missed out, and Mbappe in over his head. Giroud, Benzema confusion. Giroud is also on form. You cannot play Giroud and Benzema at the same time. You're going to be, screwing up the whole pace of that attack. Dembele, I don't know whether he's going to be on the pitch or on the stretcher. So we gotta, think about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
as of now, we haven't every team that we've spoken about, we've analyzed them fairly, I guess, according to me. But
Mhm.
we still haven't had our outright favorites. Who is your outright favorite?
This might sound very biased. Trust me, it's not.
Hmm.
It's Portugal for me.
I
It is
am
Portugal for me.
again, yes, sounds kind of will sound biased, and the fact that I'm risking our podcast's reputation with this, because everyone is on the hate Ronaldo, hate Portugal mode. But yes, for me, it was Portugal and Brazil, but I will give the edge to Portugal just because
Yeah.
of how balanced out squad they have in terms of players. When you talk about a rock solid defense, a very very rock solid defense, you take an experienced Pepe with Ruben Diaz, he won Player of the Season, right, for Manchester City when they won the league. I think
Last year,
last year.
yeah.
Last year was Kevin
Yeah.
De Bruyne. I think
Yeah.
the year before that was Ruben Diaz, if I'm not wrong. Cancelo is
He won one of
arguably
the PFA awards or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
And Cancelo
Yeah.
is arguably the best fullback in the world. Diogo Dalot is Diogo Cole this season. He's on smoke. Bernardo Silva is there.
Yeah.
Rafael Leao is there. People can say whatever they want about Ronaldo, but he is the best player to put on a Portugal shirt ever. For me,
Yeah.
one of the two best players of all time, and I really think that he turns up after a bad spell that he's had, and for Portugal, he always turns up. So
Yeah.
I would also, I before we end our episode, I want us to go through a full group A to H predictions so that we can have our top four teams, and of course I want to give a shout out to YJR podcasts. I think it's YJ Reviews. It's by this guy Yash Arora. So before having this podcast, the doc that we drew up, I saw a lot of his podcasts. He makes Understanding Spain, Understanding France, Understanding Portugal. He has a decent amount of banter, but his analysis of the game is absolutely brilliant, and I would love to have him some time in on our podcast. I think he rightly predicted the Italy Euro 2021 win also at the beginning of the tournament, and he's predicted some great things. When I looked at his episodes and his analysis. So shout out to him. Thank you very much, Yash. And I've been trying to get in touch with him through emails and DMs. So I hope this podcast is a nice way to get in touch. Uh, okay, let's move to Group A.
I think it's Netherlands first and Ecuador second.
Oof, I mean, I think the strongest teams are Senegal and Netherlands. But then again, there's no Mane. But I don't know. Sometimes people use that as motivation and all. Like Denmark with Ericsson. You remember when Ericsson went out, Denmark just went like, okay, you know what? We'll be world beaters right now. We'll just go crazy. So
Yeah.
that's probably a thing. I still have this feeling that just how you spoke about that the whole corruption bit and that decisions going in favor. I feel Qatar might take it. They might just
Yeah.
qualify for the knockouts because of that. And so Qatar and Netherlands for me. And I will take this down. What's yours? Yours is
Netherlands and Ecuador.
Netherlands and Ecuador.
Yeah.
For me,
Gotta have that surprise element somewhere. Ecuador is mine.
now
Group B.
Group B.
Tough choice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is
I mean, I'm not even considering Iran right now. England and I have to sort of rep the country that I'm living in right now. So England and USA.
fair enough. Fair enough. USA, yeah. Christian
Christian
Pulisic,
Pulisic. Yeah.
the LeBron James of football.
Tom
Which
Brady.
what idiot said that? I don't even remember. God damn,
Yeah.
LeBron James of football. Uh, anyway, okay, chalo. I'll go for England and Kimru. That's how they want to name themselves, no?
Wales?
Yeah, that's how they
Yeah.
CYMRU is what they're
Uh, Group
now.
C. Argentina and Poland.
Okay, you're backing on Lewandowski to make up for getting kicked out of the Champions
11
League.
goals. 11 goals. Key.
Yeah, that's a good one, but I will go for Argentina and Mexico because our
Mexico.
our man Ochoa is gonna turn into prime Neuer again, and yeah, every time there's a international tournament, that man just goes crazy. So let's move on to Group D.
We will have France, of course, and Tunisia will not qualify at all. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that. France and Denmark.
Same, same. France and
This is the
Denmark.
only group that we might just agree on.
Yeah, because that whole World Cup curse and all of that is there, and it's actually happened lots
Yeah.
of times that you go out in the group stage right after winning the World Cup. But then this group, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I maybe I'm uncultured or whatever, but I don't even know a player from Tunisia and Australia. I think is nah. Group E.
I mean, Germany and Spain. No particular order, but Germany and Spain.
Yeah, I guess Germany and Spain. I don't see them. I mean, I think Costa Rica will give them a hard time, but I don't know. Because Keylor Navas, our very underrated keeper, is there. What do you think about Group F?
Belgium and Croatia. Canada should stick to ice hockey.
Carlo Ancelotti is supporting Canada. So I think I would go for Canada and Croatia.
No Belgium?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is good, but I don't see anyone else.
Sweet.
You went for Belgium and Croatia, right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for Canada and Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah. Enough for Modric. In 1 month, he played well and he gets the Ballon d'Or. Bullshit. Anyway, Group G. Yes.
Brazil and Serbia.
Wow. Yep. No, I'm not going to go for Serbia. Brazil, of course.
That's my dark knight.
Mine is Granit.
Oh, of course. How can I forget?
The Swiss Granit.
How can I forget? Yeah.
Captain. The
Yeah.
one team he'll probably not throw his captain's armband for. But anyway, bygones. Group H. That is a tough group. So whatever people can say about Group E being the group of death, I will go for Group H being the group of death because these are the Black Stars are definitely a threat. Heung-min Son Korea is definitely a threat. Darwin Nunes is in form with Luis Suarez. You have Fede Valverde. So, yeah, Uruguay is good. And, of course, Portugal are our favourites. What are
Yeah.
yours? Top two.
Portugal and Uruguay.
Yeah, same. As much as, Suarez is an asshole, I still feel that he is a brilliant player who performs very well for his country. So,
For sure. For sure. For sure.
however, there is one important talking point here.
Uh-huh.
Uruguay and Ghana are facing each other again. I think the whole The whole Uruguay fan base, whenever they're having a match against Ghana, they should have Asamoah Gyan's pictures or something like, missing the penalty, or they should just have a
Yeah,
hand of God that Suarez claimed for himself after saving that
yeah.
beautiful shot, which kicked Ghana out of the World Cup.
But first match, okay. Was the big first match? United States and Wales.
Right.
That's the first match on 21st November. It's a big match. Predictions. Let's just predict that one
Okay.
first.
Let's do quick ones. With USA and Wales, I would give 2-0 to Wales.
I'm gonna go 2-1 United States.
Qatar, Ecuador.
1-0 Ecuador.
Okay, for me, 2-1 Qatar. England, Iran.
4-0 England.
Okay. You know what? Let's just fuck around with this. 1-0 Iran.
I'll stop watching the World Cup if that happens.
Senegal, Netherlands.
2-1 Netherlands.
Okay, I'd go for 3-0 Netherlands. USA, Wales, we've spoken about. Okay, but let's do it in the order. USA, Wales.
I said 2-1 USA.
2-1
So
USA,
2-1
I would
USA.
say 2-1 Wales. Argentina, Saudi Arabia.
3-0 Argentina.
Same, 3-0 Argentina. Denmark, Tunisia.
1-all.
Oh, I'm going for a 5-0 Denmark. Okay, so we have come to the end of our first episode of Football Merchants. I hope you guys really liked it, and if you have any thoughts on what we discussed, our predictions, you have your own predictions, please interact with us and talk to us through the comments, through the Radio City's Instagram handle, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and yes, let's look forward to the World Cup.
Thank you guys for joining. It has been amazing recording this first episode, and we look forward to recording more and more. Viva Ronaldo.
Viva Portugal! Viva Eric Ten Hag! Chalo, see you, man.
See you, man.
Radio City.